Level up, I see you as my crush. I will not judge. Teddy for I just want love.
Yo, it's been 40 days. 40 days since the release of my first album, and it was not great. The statistics say so, and my video review has received more views than listens on all platforms. Even though the video wasn't successful in many ways. It was a bad start, I know. In the previous video, I promised that if the engagement was good, I will continue making videos. Well, it's a subjective assessment, but I believe you've done well. So here I am. Yeah, so what is this video about? About my new album, of course. Why else would I make a video if my activity is shamefully low and I have to promote my controversial album somehow? After such a phrase, you can safely unsubscribe, or if you're not subscribed, subscribe and then unsubscribe. Because you already have a good idea of what kind of content you'll be dealing with in the future. With an inevitable frequency of once every 6 weeks, there are announcements of albums that seem to be of no interest to anyone, as well as their reviews. Cool, who cares? But wait, I promised to do an essay on Omori, and I promised to make interesting non-musical videos, but where are they? Just keep in mind that I need a lot more feedback for this kind of activity. First and foremost, I'm a musician, then everything else. Now that we cleared it up, let's move on. Yeah, in case you haven't realized, I haven't released the album yet, so this video is an announcement. I suspect that even dumb memes and jokes have already filtered out 95% of the viewers. I don't care, I'm used to banging my head against the wall, so I'll just ask remaining 5% to watch until the end. Please bro, I really need this. I need the engagement. Yeah. My first album, as I say, it didn't do well on all platforms. It's strange because when I was writing the album, I liked the tracks. After many listens in the FL Studio, they become boring. But I remember the first impression, it was good, and even the fact that I listened to my own tracks for a while. On the other hand, the developers of Concord were also proud of their work, but in reality, they were the only ones playing their game. So now I think I've created something good, or is it a Concord in the world of music? In any case, the album is already in the past. There were no listeners and the idea was not understood. Frustrated by my latest failure, I re-listened to the host of the Black Space. And that's when I decided to create my own Black Space. I think I mentioned that the previous album was my Black Space, but in reality it wasn't when compared to the new album. I'd like to tell you more about it, but the time hasn't come yet. From my own perspective, this is my best work. It was a long production hell, I swear, with dozens of files and projects. I listened to each track hundreds of times, and the project folder was 2 GB in size. Damn, that's a record. I've broken the scene again. No, I've erased it. I won't go into too much detail to avoid embarrassing myself again, so let me just tell you a bit about the upcoming album. I originally wrote it for the Black Space locations. The tracks have a soundtrack genre, so they'll be short, average in a minute, and repetitive in nature. Yeah, it sounds like something that won't be listened to at all, but trust me, I've made the tracks listenable. And I like all of them, by the way. There are 33 tracks in the album. Just a heads up. There's a concept idea in the album. In general, it's similar to Omori. If you played it, I think you'll understand what the album's about. If you haven't played it, well, I tried to create a story that can be understood through the track names, the ad-libs and the structure, without using words. The story is real, honest, and it happened to me, so it's all sincere. I took inspiration from the tracks of Black Space so you can notice a similar sound in the tracks, although I made them unique in my own way. And the cover, well, there's a story behind it, but for now I'm just thinking. Let me remind you of my own words. But I promise, from now on I won't use AI for covers. Yes, there is no AI involved, but it will take time to create the perfect cover. I have plenty of ideas, but this is the main reason why the album hasn't been released yet. By the way, return to the inspiration of the soundtrack. Here is the track list. Here you can see the analytics of some OST with question marks covering the tracks that I made myself from scratch. From this image you can already understand the concept of the album, but I still want you to listen to it in its entirety. It will last about 40 minutes, I believe. I haven't counted. I'll probably talk more about the album in another video. It will be full-fledged analysis. Although I don't really want to do it. It's quite embarrassing when the album's author explained the meaning himself, as far as I'm concerned. It's not harmful to dream, but I want to see a video analyzing my album one day when I visit YouTube. So I'll give it some time, and if the story repeats itself, I'll have to embrace myself once again. The video is called so dramatically not because if it fails I'll leave. In general, I thought so at first. I'm tired of writing tracks that can be heard. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I mentioned it in the video and the previous album. But somehow, I still write music. It's strange, isn't it? It's like I'm a masochist. I'm not saying that if the album fails again, I'll give up music. I probably won't leave music ever. It just so happens that I have too many stories, worlds, and emotions in my head. No matter how cringe or corny it sounds, it's true. I write music because I have something to write about. You don't know this, and no one knows, but I also write stories. Maybe one day I'll gather a development team and we'll write in Omori mode. Or I'll even do it myself. But many of my ideas died on paper, and it just so happens that I can only make music come to life. These are my final thoughts before the release. It's coming very soon, I think in May, maybe a couple of days after this video is released, or maybe as early as June 1st. Please leave feedback again, maybe you can break the ceiling too. Stay creative. I'm going to think about the cover for my mid-album. This was a mid-artist monologue. Thank you for watching, and be happy.